program that featured every other day running. Each run would count, however, with high-intensity workouts and long endurance runs alternating throughout the build, supplemented by loads of non-impact cross-training. I knew going in that there would be days when my body would veto the plan, and when it did, I listened. For example, a 20-miler turned into a 12-miler when it became clear that forcing my way through the remaining distance would have put me in a deep hole. Overall, though, my training went well, culminating in a confidence-boosting 14-mile steady-state run that left me believing a sub-3-hour marathon might be possible. The nice thing about virtual races is that you get to choose your own route. I chose a 2-mile loop that started right outside my front door with a makeshift fluid station set up at the foot of my driveway. Never before had I started a marathon with less certainty about what would happen. In previous cycles, I'd built upon a solid base of fitness with 12 to 16 weeks of focused training that rendered me 100% prepared to do my best, while also supplying me with a very precise sense of what I could do on race day. At the Chicago Marathon, for example, I started out with the goal of running 6 minutes, 5 seconds per mile straight through, having deduced from key workouts that this pace represented my current limit. How accurate was my assessment? Well, I finished in 2 hours, 39 minutes, 30 seconds, which works out to an average pace of 6 minutes, 5.005 seconds per mile. Comparatively, the Rambling Runner Virtual Marathon was an exercise in flying blind. Scarcely more than a month earlier, I had struggled to jog 6 miles at 10 minutes per mile, and although I had made rapid progress since then, my goal of breaking 3 hours felt far more like a guess or a hope than a prediction. But that was part of the fun. To achieve the best possible result, I would have to lean on the deep internal knowledge I'd accrued from 4 dozen prior marathons and feel my way to my present limit. The other nice thing about virtual races is that you get to choose when you start. But with the high temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit forecasted in Oakdale, California, I elected to set out at a standard marathon gun time of 7 a.m. I was skirting the fenced perimeter of the neighborhood dog park, alive with frolicking canines observed by clustered humans, when my watch chirped. A quick wrist glance revealed a split time of 6 minutes 44 seconds for the first mile, 5 seconds ahead of target. To the uninitiated, 5 seconds sounds like a rounding error, but the experienced runner knows that if their target pace represents their true limit, running just a few ticks faster will result in a head-on collision with the wall somewhere down the road. Yet my pace felt right in a way I can't explain. I somehow knew I could keep it up, and there would be no wall. Unlike my debut marathon 21 years before, when I'd thought I knew I could sustain the faster-than-planned pace I'd started at in a fit of youthful exuberance, only to find myself walking at 19 miles. But I was no longer that runner. And although I couldn't predict exactly how the next 25 miles would unfold, I'd have bet my life savings that I wouldn't walk. And I didn't. To the contrary, I sped up, completing the marathon in 2 hours, 54 minutes, 52 seconds, which equates to 6 minutes, 39 seconds per mile. I put everything I had into the last 2 miles and eked out my quickest splits, but not by much. 6 minutes, 29 seconds, 6 minutes, 31 seconds. The goal of every racer is to finish knowing they couldn't have gone any faster, and I did that in the Rambling Runner Virtual Marathon. It wasn't my fastest race, and I didn't win, but it's the closest thing to a perfect race I've ever run. The Great Equalizer. It is often said that races aren't run on paper. The expression is used to make the point that great preparation does not guarantee a great performance. To fulfill the potential they bring to a race, runners must execute it perfectly, which isn't easy. An honest runner can almost always look back at a completed race and identify errors or lapses that, if avoided, could have saved them a few seconds at least.